Have you ever been called the capable one? Or maybe the smart or intelligent one? You know, the person who gets things done, holds everything together, and never drops the ball. Maybe you're the person who's always on top, managing to handle everything and always have a solution for every single problem. And I know it sounds like a compliment, but in reality, there is a dark side to this label, and it might actually be costing you a lot more than you realize. Because when people around you see you as the capable, high achieving one, it can feel like you are top of the world, but it can also feel like you have no choice but to live up to that image. So even when you're pushing through the stress, exhaustion, and burnout, you find that you have to keep going just to prove you still are who they think you are. You want to know more about the dark side? This video is for you. Growing up, and actually even to this day, my mum would say to me, "Oh, you've always been the most clever and smart one of the whole family. We've always known that you're going to succeed. We're always putting our hopes on you." And as a kid, I was like, yay, I'm making mom and dad proud. I'm so proud of myself. I like, look at me. But as an adult, I started seeing things happen differently. Because I started seeing that I would go the extra mile, like no matter what. I would start offering to do things even though I didn't have enough time. So I would work overtime and sometimes even past midnight just to get things done. I would always need to be on top form, to be the strategic and forward-thinking one, and to make sure that I have a really clear path to success. And whilst that did work every now and then, what eventually it made me do, especially as an adult, is that I found that I would procrastinate even more when I couldn't see the finish line. I would push myself way beyond my means to prove that I am actually useful. I would even do anything and everything that I could to make sure that I was adding value in my relationships, even at the cost of putting others down. It wasn't pretty. And on the surface, it might not seem to you like, wait, how are they even related or linked? But actually they are. Because when your identity of capable is attached to your worth, unbeknownst to you, you are going to act as if your life depends on it. Why? Because as a child, it did. Because it meant that there was a difference between you were going to get praise, smiles, and love or not. So it leads you to take on more than you should because saying no feels like letting people down. You stop asking for help because you're supposed to have all the answers. You're supposed to know. And also, it would lead you to hold yourself to impossible high standards, even when it means you're burning out. Because if you fall short, you are going to judge yourself so much harder than anyone else ever could, in case you meet someone who's judgy, in case you meet someone who might not think you're valuable. And what that would mean is in case you are not worthy. What that does over time is that this constant proving creates chronic stress, burnout, and actually a loss of joy and happiness in the very things that you used to love doing. And over time, this is going to cause you to have problems in your body, maybe headaches, maybe you're starting to not feel like yourself, you lose yourself, and that burnout becomes inevitable because you're carrying all the burden that's on you. So when our identity is tied to performance, subconsciously by the way, praise becomes a form of pressure. You're so smart, strong, or reliable actually turns into something that you can't quit. And culturally, because we're taught to equate worth equals productivity, slowing down feels like a failure. which makes you feel guilty, which adds to your burden and stress. So now you know all about the dark side. What can you do about it? Well, here's something that you can do to start loosening the grip that you've got on you. You know, it's like loosening the roots in the soil that is holding you tight and holding you down. The first one is ask yourself, is this image or label still serving me? Or is it costing me too much? Number 2, practice saying no or not right now without having to explain yourself. I don't mean just like be no in a blunt way, but you don't have to over explain the reason why you need to say no or not now. Number 3, share some small pieces of vulnerability, like inviting in support, making time for connection, and asking people for help. And actually, that's going to start allowing people to come into your circle and allow them to offer you support in a much easier way to release you from the stress and the burden of having to carry it all. And the 4th thing is have a little think about how can you redefine success for yourself. Can you redefine it based on how you feel rather than how much you have achieved or done? Can you reframe it in how happy you feel rather than how many things you've ticked off on your box? So these are some of the ways that you can start thinking about and actually taking action on immediately on loosening the soil so that you can start breaking out of that identity that no longer serves you. Because you can still be ambitious, reliable, and driven without having to run yourself into the ground. And it starts by letting yourself be human, not just the capable one with the cape. If this resonates with you, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I upload regular videos to empower you to live a more thriving life. I've also got many more tools and conversations that will help you succeed without burning out. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter too if that's of interest, or come to one of my workshops because they are safe spaces for you to start letting go of the pressure of life and start finding a way forward that actually feels good for you. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.